Let's get back to the night ahead, and residents across Sydney, the Central Coast and the south coast of New South Wales are bracing for up to 200 millimetres of rain over the next day. The Hawkesbury-Nepean River system is set to see major flooding. Sky News weather meteorologist Rob Sharpe joins me now. Rob, some of these rivers are already flooding, and obviously there's going to be worse to come.
Yeah, well, in particular, my eyes are fixed on the Hawkesbury-Nepean catchment, where the water levels are already rising. This is down in Sackville. It's still below minor levels there, but pretty much everywhere else along the Hawkesbury-Nepean, it has reached minor levels already. We're seeing flash flooding in western parts of Sydney today, courtesy of the heavy rain that has tumbled down, with totals up to close to 100 millimetres. But looking at the forecast, we're looking at the situation right now, we've already got major flooding on the Nepean River at Menangle Bridge. So that's heading towards Camden, that water. Meanwhile, the Warragamba Dam is already spilling. That started at 3 a.m. this morning. And on the Hawkesbury River at Richmond North, it's already a moderate flood, and it is rising quickly there. So major flood threat across the entire catchment, and it could easily be a repeat of what took place in March of last year.
Gee, what a worry, isn't it? Now, I don't know how much rain the Sydney Basin has had in the last month, but it hasn't stopped raining really for the last 10 days or so. How much more are we expecting overnight? Are we talking 200 millimetres? Are we talking 8 inches?
There is a possibility that we could see totals as high as that. We've seen heavy falls. In fact, parts of the south coast and the Illawarra have seen totals as high as 160 millimetres in the 24 hours to 9 a.m. And since 9 o'clock, there have been totals as high as 130 millimetres. So looking at the radar, it is soaking wet. Some of the heaviest falls have been across the Warragamba catchment area in the Nepean catchment region. So you can see it is quite wet at the moment, with some severe storms in the centre of the state. Penrith seen another 56 millimetres, Nowra 69 in the gauge. Sydney City has been one of the drier locations. So for people close to the coast, you might be wondering what all the fuss is about. But out further west and over the inland areas, that's where the torrential rain has been. Richmond up to 84 millimetres. Warragamba Dam itself has collected 90 in the gauge. But looking at the forecast for the rest of today, you can see we're going to continue to see this rain, but out to sea, that is our east coast low. Look at the heavy falls there. They're still on their way, and so that is going to be swinging in. So that's why the severe weather warning is still active from about Bateman's Bay to Foster. It runs up onto the Blue Mountains as well for heavy to locally intense rain, the possibility of 200 millimetre totals in a 6-hour period, causing life-threatening flash flooding. But the rivers are really going to respond if that kind of thing eventuates. So you can see the heaviest falls coming through tomorrow morning and possibly into the afternoon as well. Exactly where they are is hard to say, but it is going to be a nasty event. But it's also nasty out on the water. Maximum wave heights today have reached as high as 7 metres. They could be double that tomorrow, up to probably around 13 metres for maximum wave heights. So it's a big weather system coming in, and tomorrow is the worst of it.
It sure is, Rob. Thanks for that. Just a worrying situation in the 24 hours ahead. Rob Sharpe there from Sky News Weather, of course. And as you heard from the Deputy Premier earlier, listen out for those warnings. If you're in the areas that could be flood affected, listen to those warnings. Don't risk anything. If you need to get out, get out.